Made man. I'm the first rock star who ever landed on the moon. You see the wallet, see a rock star. See the wallet, see a rock star. That's what I do. You see the wallet, see a rock star.
Hey, what's up, world? Guys, we're here in Paris. We're about to have an event fit for a king. It is epic beyond epic. We told you guys, this is where we're trying to take crypto, traveling the world and showing you how crypto can really transform your life and the entire world as well.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing, Paris? Let's make some noise. Let's get a round of applause going. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, Paris. So, without further ado, now the main event where we all came here. A great guy, an honest man that's trying to take crypto mainstream to the world, and of course, trying to make everybody here come with us to the moon. Give a hand, Paris. Ian Balina. Yeah, royal style. The king has arrived. Yeah.
Thank you, Drew. Thank you. Wow, Paris. Amazing venue, right? I think this is a chance when I practice my French that I haven't spoken in years. Bonjour. Moi, je m'appelle Ian. Et toi? Anyway, Paris, thank you so much for having us. Once again, thank you to our host here, Crypto Hustle. Come here, Cedric. Cedric Amin, come here. These guys are Crypto family. These guys just blew me away. We came here last night to check out the venue, and I was thinking it was just going to be a regular conference room, whatever. We come here, and I thought I was on the moon. I was like, wow, this is like, who is it, King Louis IV? Napoleon? I guess kings used to have feasts here, so I think we may have a crypto feast here as well. Anyway, guys, merci beaucoup. Merci. And then thank you to all you guys here. I mean, I'm very humbled for you guys coming here, taking time out of your schedule just to be here. You guys could be anywhere in the world, anywhere in the world. You guys could be doing an ICO right now, but you're here with us, with me. So thank you guys so much as well. Merci. And then a quick thank you to my team. I want you guys to meet the team. You guys have a chance to meet them over the course of this event. We have Dan over there, my video producer. We have Drew over here, my music producer. Right, so these are the guys behind the magic of the Moon Lambo music video. So hopefully you guys had a chance to watch that video, you liked it. It is coming back online. We had some trolls that flagged it, but don't worry, it's coming back online. And then today, as Drew mentioned, is our special announcement. Moon Lambo now is available on iTunes, Spotify, Tidal, Google Play, and all these other music platforms are coming as well. And that's just the first song. We have numerous songs coming out as well. We have one with Kool Savas, who's the biggest rapper in Germany. We're making a Crypto Slow Down music video with a video producer that made Drake's Nice For What music video. So the heavy hitters are now watching, and now they're also getting into crypto. So stay tuned. All right, then we have Diego. Is Diego here? All right, Diego, thank you so much. Diego's the one who's been handling the ICO pitches. So all the ICOs that will be here pitching today will be going through the Diego. Ugo's on the way here. He's at the, are you here, Ugo? No, okay, yeah, Ugo was at the French Open. So he'll be here shortly. Then we also have our amazing photographer here and our DJ. All right, with that being said, welcome to the show, guys. I'll try to offer as much value as possible. This is going to be a very interactive event. So the way these events typically go, we had a quick intro, we had a chance to meet the team, but the main thing is to offer as much value to you guys as possible. Oh, man. Hey, you made it. This is the guy who taught me Thai boxing in Amsterdam. Always good to see a familiar face in the crowd. Anyway, so on the agenda, I'll give you guys a quick bio on myself, who I am. I'll try to keep it as short as possible. Quick show of hands. Who's never heard of me before or is hearing about me for the first time? Okay, 2 people. So we'll keep it very short. Right? Then we'll have the ICO pitch competition, which I think is starting to become one of the most valuable parts of the event. Just to kind of give you guys perspective, ICOs like Sparkster have been discovered from a pitch competition like this. We've had Phantasma Pitch as well. We've had, I met Nucleus Vision from an event like this in LA, back when it was a lot smaller event. I met Eden Chain in South Korea at an event just like this, before they blew up, when their Telegram only had like 10 people and it was just their team. Right, so we can really find some ICOs really, really early. Now, I don't make any guarantees that you'll find the next 100x from this pitch competition. But if France has it, and they come, they'll get the platform to speak not just to you, but to the whole world. Then following that, we'll have an AMA, where you guys can ask me anything. And you can also ask the winning ICO anything as well. So, Diego, we have 3 ICOs pitching today, right? 4 ICOs pitching. So out of those 4, the way it works, there'll be 3 rounds. 4 ICOs will pitch for 2 minutes. You guys, the audience, will also have a chance to participate. Then we'll have a panel of judges as well. And we'll decide which ICOs go to the second round. In the second round, they'll have 4 minutes to pitch. Then the winning ICO will have 10 minutes or more to pitch and have an AMA with the audience where you guys can ask them any question you guys like. How does that sound? And then following that, we can just party. If somebody knows what the party is. If not, we'll just take pictures here, and I think there's a hotel bar nearby as well. All right? How does that sound? All right, awesome. Since we only have 2 people here who don't know me, I'll keep this as short as possible. My name is Ian Balina. I'm a full-time angel investor, investing in ICOs, initial coin offerings, also called token sales. Prior to doing all this, I was working at IBM for 4 years. My last year, I was covering IBM North America for open source analytics and the IBM Hybrid Cloud and Analytics division. So I had a job as a sales executive, basically selling to Fortune 500 executives, IBM software. Prior to that, I was working as an IBM sales engineer on IBM Watson Analytics product. And prior to that, I was working as an IT consultant at Deloitte. And before that, I was working as a developer, and I have a background as an engineer, computer engineer from GW in DC. All right. So most of you here probably follow me because I think what brings all of us together is token metrics, which is what I'm known for, the spreadsheet, the ICO spreadsheet. So I was one of the first, I think I was the first person to publicly have a spreadsheet for ICOs and share this with the world, because I was trying to really open source this knowledge and content. And the way I did it was basically leveraging data and analytics to analyze ICOs to figure out patterns of what made them great investments. So getting as many data points as possible and try to figure out, okay, what exactly made the best ICOs do well? What did they have in common? So I took this approach, came up with a system, and open sourced this system. And initially, it was just a random guy doing AMAs, live streams on YouTube with about 100 people on his channel, whatever. But probably a few hundred people. But then slowly, the data began to back it up. Because before, people had the perspective similar to angel investing or VC investing, where you invest in 10 startups and 1 or 2 of them end up doing well. 1 or 2 of them end up being the next Uber, the next Airbnb, what have you. We flipped this model on its side by saying, you know what? We can do better than this. This is crypto. Crypto is different. Crypto people are kind of spoiled when it comes to returns. To a point now, we can invest in 4 out of 5 ICOs. I mean, in 5 ICOs, and 4 out of 5 of them will do well, where the average return is a 5x. And this is, so we moved away from having a shotgun approach to having a sniper approach and having a reason why each ICO would do well, and knowing that ahead of time and getting in. So really finding the undervalued ICOs using data and analytics. What really kind of put me on the map and took my spreadsheet from being something that was small to something that was viewed over 1 million times a month on Google Sheets, to a point I think I was probably one of the top users of Google Sheets just based on traffic for one spreadsheet. But anyway, so December was probably the biggest month out of that. We had 3 ICOs, Icon and Wabi. I saw some people raise their hands up earlier. Icon was 100x. we had 200x ICOs in the same month, and the third one was a 50x. So 100x, 100x, and a 50x in the same month. So that's when people in the space began to notice and say, okay, you know what? Maybe this tokenmetrics thing actually works. So as opposed to just kind of blindly investing based on gut feeling or what have you, being able to look at the data and consistently hit the target and do well was kind of how this kind of blew up. And that's why I'm here, and that's why I think we have a big crowd here for that as well. All right, any questions on that? I kind of want to make this more interactive. Any questions on token metrics or my background? What's the second mic? So if you have any question, just feel free to ask. If not, we can get to the ICO pitch competition. Okay, question over here.
Thank you to be here because guys like you contribute to make crypto world better. Thank you for that. My question is, do you really think that with an ICO, if an ICO have a really lot of important followers on Telegram or something like that, it's a really relevant criteria to understand it's a good ICO or not?
So the question is, does Telegram community size matter, basically? Initially, I thought so as well, but after a while, the data began to show it mattered less and less, because ICOs began to game the system with free airdrops and all kinds of bounties or whatever, right? But I do think having a community, a modest community, does matter, because exchanges look at that, right? For example, if you look at the application form for listing on Binance or any exchange, they'll ask you, how big is your community? And they'll ask you to document that. Right? And I think one of the most common ways is basically how big a Telegram community is, right? So I think there is, for me, I score that, but after a particular threshold, it kind of maximizes and it has diminished returns. So what I look at is, does it have an average size community? So if it has an average size community, which at this point is about 15, 20,000 people in the Telegram group, then to me, that checks the box. If it doesn't, there's room for improvement. But anything over 15, 20,000, if you have 80,000 people in your Telegram group, I don't give any extra points for that, because at that point you've already checked the box, so to speak, right? So I think the main concern is not having no community is what I'm trying to avoid.
But if there is no community, maybe there is believers. How can you make the difference
Are you
between
a
them?
believer? That's actually a
It
song
depends.
coming out soon. I mean, because the thing is, with community, in a way, kind of gives you an idea of the potential volume of a project when it gets listed on an exchange. Because all of us here are, for the most part, investors. And we want our investments to be liquid, right? So the last thing you want to do is invest in a project, go on an exchange, and nobody's buying or selling, so you can't exit out of position. And exchanges know that as well. Right, that's why exchanges really, before they even list a token, they want to know there's a big community behind it that will create volume. Right, so I feel like a project could have believers, but if those believers are in the forest and nobody can hear them, then it doesn't really matter. Thank you.
Thank you. First of all, thank you so much for all you've done. Thank you so much. I'm following you since July 2017, and so I got in like YB, all of those.
Pre-ICO?
Not pre-ICO.
Okay.
Not
That was still good enough, though.
I didn't have enough at that time. Didn't have enough money, and you even featured me on your Telegram because of my story. I can show you later if you want. And yeah, thank you so much. So I don't have any question, but yeah, just thank you.
Merci beaucoup, mon ami.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You brought me.
I'm very humbled. I mean, I love stories like that.
You brought me from the bottom to not the top, but very good.
That's a beautiful thing.
And like I remember you had just 200 people watching your live stream, and I was there. I didn't have any money to invest, but then I started getting more and more and more. And yeah, anyway, I built a website based on your token metrics and stuff. Can I show you later?
Yeah, Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Olga from Goatman project. So the question is, it's quite famous that it's 90% of ICO is a scam. And from even the rest 10, it's a lot of cases when the token is dropped down after listing, after ICO is finished. In your personal statistic, from how many ICO projects you analyze and how many from them, roughly, was fail, at least not recap the ICO price?
So how many of my investments failed?
Your investment or, yeah.
Okay. I'd have to go back and look at the data itself. Actually, we can do it now. That's the power of a spreadsheet. One thing you'll learn about me is I like to be as transparent as possible. All right, so let me.
I might ask.
Oh, I don't think she's done. She was saying. Yeah. Okay, so sorry. Let me just give me a minute here. We'll go to my spreadsheet. We should have some music here to cue the Jeopardy music. Okay, so I'm just going to read off the percentages of my last investments, the ROI, right, to kind of give you. Very few. I would say. I do. I mean, I would say probably 1 to 2 out of 10 fail. Yeah. So I'd say 10 to 20% fail, right? I mean, but so kind of going back to the old model, but here I have the data. So my last investment, based on current ROI at this point in time, or at least whatever I have here on my spreadsheet from the last pool of data, we have. Yeah, of course I did for QuarkChain. Yeah, QuarkChain was like 15x, 18x. That's not. I'm not even counting QuarkChain though. Last one, 329%, 271%, 78%, 503%, 127%. This is one bad one. Negative 83%, 54%, 177%, 207%, 336%, 878%, 87%. What? How long do I stay in an ICO? So as new ICOs come that I want to invest in, I take profits from those projects that are doing well. Those projects that are doing bad, for the most part, it depends on the market. If it's a bearish market, then I'll be more patient. But if it's a bullish market and it's doing really bad, I'll just take the loss and sell everything and go to something else. Because the opportunity cost is just too much in a bullish market. So the best example is PundiX. Who here did PundiX? Oh, wow, lots of people. The question is, who hodled PundiX despite the first 2 months? Okay, good number. So PundiX came out, and I went heavy into PundiX. I put in like 150 Ether in PundiX. Right? It was like about 150 to 200 grand, depending on the price of Ether. But anyway, it came out in a bearish market. It was a dud. At one point, I think it was down almost 50% from ICO price. So typically, I would have sold, but even PundiX, it wasn't really on a great exchange. Going back to the question about exchanges. But it did have a big community. But I knew that there was a possibility for a better exchange. So my plan at that time was to just be patient and wait for a better exchange and then sell, right? Then they announced this buyback program that just kind of like Jon Stark in Game of Thrones, just woke up PundiX, and it just, for some reason, just that buyback program by their team took it to like a 3x, then a 5x. So once it went to 3x, I immediately took out my initial investment because I was nervous that it could go back down to negative 50 to minus 50%. Right? So I did not wait like 2 weeks. As soon as I saw sunshine, I took profits. But now that I had taken profits, I could be even more patient with it. Because from there, it just kept on running. It went from 3x to 10x. Then I went back, sold about 20%, because once you've seen the worst of a project, you're more realistic as it's going up. You know that eventually it could come back down. So because of that prior bad negative experience of being down that much, as soon as I did a 10x, I sold 20%. And I put that into QuirkChain, I believe, and some other projects. Then once it went to 15x, I sold 20% off as well. And I put that into some other project like Phantasma or what have you. Then when it went to 20x, I sold 20% off as well. Now, each time I sold, it was for a reason. It was to reinvest into a particular project, not just to go to Ether. Actually, I did sell some off just to go to Fiat, but that was to invest in my other business stuff. So that's kind of how I typically work with investment. Does that answer your question? All right, thank you. Okay, who has the mic?
Can we ask questions about ICOs?
Let's leave the specific ICO questions for the actual AMA. This is mainly just on token metrics and my background, right? But we'll definitely get to that as well.
And my question is, I was wondering if to you there's any risk with being such a public figure inside of the crypto community?
Yes, I mean, people used to ask me that as well. And for those who don't know, I was hacked, right, for over $2 million.
I don't
so
know.
that's what?
I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't know that? Okay, well, now you know. All right, so being a public figure doesn't make me a target. But all I can say is, sure, I've experienced some of the bad things of being so public and being a public figure. But I feel like the good has far outweighed the bad. I mean, I think I've been able to impact so many lives, which is, I think, why so many people are here and why so many people are getting on planes to come here and just be at this event and to meet me, right? And I feel like it would be a disservice if I just secretly kept this all to myself and just got rich without really trying to share that knowledge and wealth to help others, right? So in a way, you could call me crazy, but I was willing to risk the negative for the positive. Thank you.
So you're a spreadsheet?
Now, for those asking, the reason I took down the spreadsheet was, it reached a point where it couldn't really scale, because anything that was going on there was immediately selling out, whether it was the pre-sale or the whitelist getting closed. So to a point where my community couldn't really get the value of the spreadsheet. So I do plan to bring it back, but in a much better way, because at the peak it was getting viewed by over 1 million people a month. And that's only what my website traffic shows, right? But once you join the link, you can share the link without me tracking it. So it could have been 10 times even more, to a point where it's moving the markets way too much. So what I want to do is turn this into an application. And then I've mentioned I'll be creating a token. And there'll be no ICO, even though I'm the ICO guy. It will be an airdrop. And the idea is to give this to only my community. So for example, my Telegram group is about 30,000 people. So if I do something like that, then only 30,000 people will have access to the spreadsheet. Only those people who are very active and committed to the community, and not like 1 million or 2 million people all over the internet. Right? Now, an update on the spreadsheet, on the token. In the US, the SEC considers an airdrop a security, according to the conversations they had with my lawyer, my securities lawyer. So we've registered the token with the SEC, and now we're in the process of doing a private placement. And then once we have more updates, we'll do that as well. All right, let's take a few more questions, then do the ICO pitches. Okay. Let's get all the ICOs that we'll be presenting or pitching to come over here on the side with Diego.
Hello, hi.
Hello.
I have a quick question. So I guess you've been doing this for a while, which explains your success in it. Do you think that predicting ICO performance today is as easy as it was before? Meaning that with all the market turmoils and the bear market we're going through, actually?
Yes. I think it's actually even better today, because we now have even more data points. So in a way, I feel like the ROIs are not as high as they used to be, right? I'll give you that, but I would say the accuracy, I think, is getting better as we get more data points. Does that make sense? Right? I mean, for example, I don't think the market necessarily affects a really good project. QuickChain came out in a bear market, did a 15x. Right? So as the market is going sideways or even tanking, a good project can come out and still do well, right? In terms of an ICO. That's why I love ICO investing so much, because if you find a really good project, no matter the market, it's going to do really well. Ontology did like a 35x in a bear market, I think, 35x, right? So Ontology was really unfazed by the bear market. And that's because it is so undervalued no matter which market it enters. Because Ontology had no crowd sale. They only had a private sale only to institutional investors in China. So nobody had Ontology. And when it came out and the things it was trying to do, and looking at where other projects doing that were priced at, based on market cap by the industry, and where Ontology opened up, it didn't matter what the market was. It was really, really undervalued looking at the data. All right, next question.
Hi, Ian. Hello.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. I've already seen you in London.
You saw me in London?
Yeah, I saw you in London. I said to you, bonjour.
Thank you for. I always love those who come to the events more than once.
I've noticed something which is currently happening in the market right now. I have the feeling that since they have introduced the future on the Bitcoin, the whales are manipulating the market, meaning like now we can see the Bitcoin, whenever it tries to goes up, it immediately go downs, meaning like on my view, sounds like the whale are playing a game where they're using the money to invest into the ICOs, into the private sale. Then after that, they use the FOMO and all the little participants like us who want to get in, like we want to buy into this token at 10x or 15x. Once they reach this 15x, then they sold everything, then it goes down, and then they just rinse and repeat. So now the question is, going forward, how are we going to be able to make this money since these whales are just playing this game?
Very good question, very good question. First thing I would say is I'm not a trading or futures expert, but from talking to my friends who are and do this for a living, I think, yeah, when Bitcoin futures opened up, it changed everything. Whales can now, for the most part, short Bitcoin. And I think the adjustment I personally made is knowing that it's to be less attached to an investment, knowing that it could be people could be messing with it, right? Whether whales or institutions or whatever could be messing with the price. So when profits come, take profits. Be more ruthless with taking profits, right? So I would say what I did, I take probably twice as much profits as I used to take, right? Because once you've been through a really long bear market, you know, when you see sunshine, as I mentioned before, you take profits. So before, you could say I would take about 10% in profits. Now I take about 20% in profits. And now I also take more profits to fiat. Right? For example, when PundiX went up, I sold almost 200 grand just to fiat in profit, just to make sure. In case even Bitcoin and the whole market went to zero, I could still buy my family a house and do a down payment on that, all that stuff. So I would say just know when markets are going up and down, other whales could be influencing that, whether in an ethical way or unethical way, and just take profits. All right. Any other questions? We can take maybe 2 more questions. One over here. Okay, where's the mic? Okay. I think it was back over here.
Hello, Ian. Did you get into those impossible deals like Harmony and Starkware, Oasis Labs?
Did I get into those impossible ones?
Yeah.
No, I've not gotten into them. I will give you guys a nugget though. I think Harmony so far looks amazing. All-Star team, All-Star advisors. They're not starting their private sale until Q4. So it's going to be a while until they have that private sale, and then probably the crowd sale, if they ever have one, in Q1. But so far, it looks like an all-star, pending their actual token metrics. But one of the cool things about token metrics, which kind of gives us an edge, is we can look at the numbers and make some assumptions. So last time I looked at Harmony was 2 days ago, and looking at the numbers, and just kind of playing around with them, at that point in time, anything under $68 million in cap, it was still an all-star to me, in my opinion. Obviously not financial advice, as you guys know by now. But just kind of playing around with the data, and just kind of basically going through different modeling situations, anything under 68 million, 65 million, it was still an all-star project, which to me says this is a really good project. I mean, so ideally, hopefully, whenever they announce, it's more like 30 million cap, right? But even if it's twice that, I still think it was going to be undervalued. Now, the thing I will add, though, is pending their prototype, right? You guys know with tokenmetrics, the first thing I look for is a prototype, because 90% of the projects that do well had a prototype. So with them, they haven't really publicly shown much, right? So for me, probably what I'll do is maybe a few months before the private sale, try to reach out to the team and see if they have any progress, maybe get a demo if possible, or if they do end up putting out a GitHub link or something to show that they actually shipped code that works. But assuming all that is good, it's a good project. Now the other one, Starkware, that's the one I think Vitalik is advising, right? Because there's lots of hype because of Vitalik's tied to the project. That one I haven't even looked into. That one I just assumed was sold out before it was even public, because it seems like that kind of project. But I don't really know much about the project or the investment or private sale. Does that answer your question?
Last one was Oasis Labs. Ekiden, I think, the name. Oasis Labs. I don't know if you know.
Sorry, what did you say?
The Oasis Labs. I don't know. Oasis,
Oasis
sorry.
Labs. Oh, man.
Sorry for the accent.
Okay, so that one. Is the camera rolling? So I haven't really talked about that one much, but I have done homework on that one a lot. And so just kind of give you perspective, I got an intro to their team, their CEO, via an investor friend I know who's very well connected. So we had a chance to basically have a call with the CEO and ask him questions. It was me and Assad, who's my technology partner. He's a blockchain engineer, an AI engineer at IBM Watson. And from the call with them, it didn't go well. It was a hard pass. I know they seem to be really hyped in Silicon Valley, but I don't really follow the trend of Silicon Valley. I mean, obviously they have their good investments, but I think we also have our own good investments that they've never touched, like the Wabis and other kinds of investments. So the main thing I didn't like about that call, they're really early. But it seems they don't even know crypto that much or the blockchain space that much, at least from an investor perspective, because they were really trying to pressure our team to invest just because it was oversubscribed. So just even getting a demo with them or a call with them was kind of tough, even though they're the ones wanting to reach out to us, because I think their team wants to kind of reach out to influential people to get them to see the project or whatever. And the first thing was, do you want to invest? We're oversubscribed. Not about the project, not about this, it was, we're oversubscribed, do you want to invest? And I said, what are the token metrics? They said, we're oversubscribed, do you want to invest? And I said, token metrics? All right, so I was like, I don't care if you're oversubscribed, but I have to do my research first before I invest. I don't invest just based on FOMO. And then on the call with the CEO, they basically, she was claiming that they can have whatever token metrics they want or raise as much as they want, because unlike other projects, they're not just a white paper ICO. And I don't know if she had done any homework on me, but I said, okay, that's cool. You're not just a white paper ICO. Do you have a mainnet? She said, no. I said, okay, do you have a testnet? She said, no. I was like, so you are the white paper ICO. So I was like, I don't know if you've done your homework, but there are other blockchains that have raised money that had much more. So I don't know where you're getting this assumption that all the projects out there are just white paper ICOs. I mean, Icon launched 1 to 2 months before mainnet. You could say one chain, even though they took forever. Right? There've been projects out there that have had substantial progress, right? With either a testnet or a mainnet. Nebulous launched their testnet very soon after the ICO. So the fact that they're claiming most projects in the space were raising money with no ICO, with no product and just a white paper, told me that they hadn't really done their homework on their competition in this space. So that was very concerning. And then to put all that together with bad token metrics was a hard pass for me. So that's my opinion on Oasis Labs. So no, I'm not investing. That's just my opinion, not financial advice.
Hello, Jan. Here, over here.
Okay. All right.
Welcome to Paris. I hope you're doing well.
Okay, guys, I think let's get to the ICO pitch. So we'll make this the last one. We're kind of getting distracted, but anyway.
Okay, I really felt very sad when you get hacked, and I wanted to tell you that we are a group of cybersecurity professionals here. So should you need any advices, feel free. It's okay. It will be a pleasure for us. I have, however, some questions, just 2 small questions. Basically, the first one is, what do you think about investing in low market cap and devalued market cap tokens or currencies rather than investing in some ICOs that are not very in the top 10 ICOs? This is the first one. The second one?
I think low market cap is only good if everything else is good. I don't think that should be the #1 thing you look for just because it's a low cap. I mean, because I feel like the number of investments that do well just from a low cap are very, very few, right? For example, I think what's that project I'm talking about? That calling expertise? I think that raised like what, 9 million? Yeah. It's 90% below ICO price, even though it had a low cap. So low cap does not matter, and there are many other products just like that. I think the only outlier that's really done well may have been Bounty 0x, that raised less than $1 million, about $1.5 million, I think. That did a 50x, but I feel like there've been very, very few outliers. So I really do some low cap projects like Wabi. It only raised 10 million, but they already had a product with blockchain integration, and it had an all-star team. Right, so for those who are brand new to token metrics, the 3 main checklists I go to before even looking at the actual numbers is, do they have a prototype, meaning something tangible? Have they shipped code that you can review? Is there a testnet, a mainnet, an alpha, a beta? That's before even looking at the low cap. Then looking at the team. Do they have minimum 2 all-star team members? Now, everybody has different ways of looking at a team. It is something that is very subjective. But what I personally do is I look for 2 things. Have they worked at a publicly traded company for more than 2 years? A company that's very credible, like a Google, a Facebook. Here in France, I guess it would be something like BNP Paribas, something like that, right? Or I guess Orange, just something credible. Or has somebody in a team worked more than 6 months at a top 25 blockchain project based on market cap? For example, do they have a Bitcoin core developer, an Ethereum core developer, something like that, right? So having at least 2 people that are on the team that have done that and are working full time on the project, then I can start looking at the numbers, like how much they're raising, total tokens being minted, what percentage the team is keeping, what percentage is being given to investors, right? So I look at all of that. Now, sometimes you can skip all of that as well. If you see a project like Hashgraph raising 200 million for 4% of tokens, something like that, it's probably going to be a bad one.
I have basically another question related to the long-term strategy holding. Well, I'm wondering if it's a so good strategy when you take a look to some claimings from some projects saying that they're going to be the Ethereum killer or something else based on the number of transactions per second. If you have a look to Zile or to credits, for example, It's maybe not a good example, but what do you think about obsolescence in terms of products and adoption versus adoption in the context of long-term holding strategy?
Good question. So basically how absurd ICOs are becoming to get more attention, and then how that kind of affects a long-term strategy. It depends on how long-term your strategy is. For me, I would say, me personally, obviously, right, I can't really give advice to anybody in particular, but to me personally, I have really two strategies: short-term and long-term. Short-term strategy is to make as much profit as possible, but by mitigating as much risk as possible, if that makes sense. All right, so I'm not quite the gambler. All right, so kind of going back to my other analogy, having a sniper approach as opposed to a shotgun approach. Right, maybe you only do one ICO in a month. I mean, for me, on average, I'm doing 2 to 4 a month, but some months could be slow, right? But the main thing for me right now is to recover my initial investment as quickly as possible in each investment. Once that's been recovered, then I become a long-term investor, right? So, for example, at PwinDX, I was eagerly waiting to get back my initial investment. It took 2 to 3 months, and it seemed like I was in hell. But now that it's up 15, 20x, I think now back to like 10x, now I can become a long-term investor because I'm not stressing every up and down. But before I do that, it has to win. So you could say that I only fall in love with my projects if they do well. If they don't do well, I don't fall in love with them. I'm objective. But I think it's good not to be objective on an investment if it's made you money. Right? So it's basically kind of like I double down on my winners, but not from my investment approach, just more from a holding approach. If something has made me money, I can hold longer even more because I'm not really sweating the up and down. But if something has been underperforming for a while, there is a lot of opportunity cost on that. Because if something is down 50% for 3 or 4 months, you could have done a 10x in that time. Right? So that's kind of the strategy and mindset I have when I look at something. So at first, I'm a short-term investor, right? And I'm looking to get my initial back as quickly as possible. Once that happens, then I can start looking at the long-term picture and be more patient. Does that answer your question? All right, thank you. Thank you guys so much for that. Oh, look who showed up. Ugo, come here, Ugo, come here. Come on stage. Where's the other mic? There. Okay, so Ugo just came from the French Open. For those who follow Ugo, he's my business partner. We invest pretty much together in everything. So how was the game?
It was good.
Yeah, who was playing? It's like Dr. Phil. Who was playing?
Nadal.
Yeah? Yeah. That's your boy, right?
Always. That's why I came late.
Okay, all right. So for the next competition, it's going to be the ICO pitch. We'll have our judges. Ugo's the first judge. Then we have Diego. Come over here, Diego, my other business partner. All right. Okay.
Paris. This is great to be here. Beautiful country.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much for coming.
So we're going to have... Okay, so we have 2 judges. Then I will be the 3rd judge. But before that, though, we're going to have one special judge from the audience. So who wants to be a judge? Okay, guy over there, you were first. Come over here, man. Congratulations. All right, we'll have the judges do a quick bio on themselves, starting with the community judge. Welcome. Bonjour.
Can I say thank you for Eden Chain? I got refunded because of you. For what? I got refunded Eden Chain because of you.
You got refunded in Eden Chain? No, nice. Okay, let's have you introduce yourself. What is your name?
My name is Faisal. So my name is Faisal. I'm 30. I'm working as a banker, and I have been into crypto for like 1 year and a half now.
All right, all right. Then Diego.
Hey guys, my name is Diego. I'm a colleague of Ian's, crypto family. We've just been traveling the world. It's been an amazing journey, you know, going from country to country and searching for the next 100x. Also meeting beautiful people in every venue, in every country. It's beyond blessing, and we're very humbled to be living this trajectory. And I'm loving Paris, loving Paris.
Thank you, Diego. Hello, everyone. My name is Ugo. I actually knew Ian way back in college. Went to school together, played soccer together, did various businesses as well. Got into ICOs about the same time, and you know, we're business partners. I do more on the back end stuff, kind of research, meeting with ICOs, and you know, talking about, you know, metrics and a little bit of technical strategies and all those things. So it's been a pleasure, you know, traveling around the world with him, evangelizing crypto. He's an amazing person, and I'm blessed to be alongside him and also the work that he does. And I also appreciate the fans that he has and all of you. So yeah, it's great to be here. Thank you.
All right, so let's have the projects come up on stage, and then Diego introduce them.
Yeah, of course. Here, come on stage, guys. Come. So if you guys can just introduce yourself one by one, your name, your project, right? And then we'll give you guys 2 minutes on stage. It's gonna be a verbal pitch to the entire crowd. Pretty much just give us your strong points and try to convince us to move you on to the next round.
So pitch, just introduce ourselves and all of us, and then pitch. Okay, so hi, my name is Florian. I'm CEO and co-founder of BlockPit. And yeah, I'll talk about the project later in the pitch, so I'll just give that over.
Thanks. I'm Louis, CTO and co-founder at Universal Reward Protocol.
Hervé, co-founder at BTU Protocol, the booking protocol.
Hi everyone, I'm Fabrice, COO and co-founder of Soundblock, and I guess
Awesome. So I think what we're gonna do is, I think we should probably just give them the stage.
Let's have the first project stay here. Everybody else can go over there and in the gauntlet and wait. Oh, you okay? All right. So the way this is going to work, as Diego said, each project is going to have 2 minutes to pitch, uninterrupted. All right. So hopefully they've brushed up on their pitch. Then we'll have the next project continue. That's the first round. So are you guys ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You were born ready, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, all right. 3, 2, 1, go.
So hi guys, one thing up front, we are not trying to develop like a new disruptive technology, but we are solving a problem that's here right now, that's growing fast. So I'm pretty sure a lot of you made some nice profit last year dealing with crypto, investing in ICOs, mining, trading, whatever. But who really like declared their taxes? And if you did, how much time and money did you put into it? Because it's really complicated. You have to calculate every trade, even between exchanges, mining as well, ICOs, and to get that together, it's almost impossible to calculate. But just like forget it and think they won't get me. I think that might happen. In 2 or 3 years, the government is really behind their piece of the cake, so I wouldn't recommend it. And that's where we come into play. So with BlockPit, we are providing a platform that combines all your different forms of cryptocurrency income into one platform. We are calculating your tax liabilities in real time. We are tracking via API the exchanges and also the blockchain and your wallets, and then offering a tax export any time of the year. So we are working with KPMG on a global level, so we can prove that our calculations are really correct. And also like close the deal with the Austrian government lately. and are now talking with Germany. So our focus is firstly on Europe, but then also like expand to a global level. Our team consists of experts in marketing, tax of course, data analysts, cybersecurity experts, and of course a great bunch of developers. And we have some established advisors in our team. We have a running product that's in beta since January, so you're welcome to check it out. And I would love to tell you more in the second round. Thanks.
All right, thank you, thank you. Next project.
Thank you.
3, 2, 1, go.
So Hervé from BTU Protocol, one of the things that I liked with Ian is that he thinks about data points. Data is important to make decisions, so I'm going to try to give you as much data as I can. So we are BTU Protocol. We are a protocol aiming at developing business applications in the booking industry in the same way that the 0x protocol is working for the training industry. We do the same for the booking industry, which is a $5,000 billion industry. We have already done our private sale, raised a few million dollars. We're aiming at 10 million at the end of this month with crowd sale opening on 27th of June. We've raised money, more than half of that money was raised from companies planning to use our protocol. And we have a community of entrepreneurs who have bought those tokens initially. My co-founder is Vidal Shriki, is the inventor of the ERC 808 that is being standardized by the Ethereum Foundation. Our product is a protocol, so it's all on the GitHub of the Ethereum Foundation, but we also have released a reference implementation as an MVP, a product that you can go and download on our GitHub. You can also see screenshots if you don't want to go through the trouble of downloading it, and you'll see it working. Today we've announced that we got support from the founder of Le Guide du Routard for the travel industry, who is the equivalent, I'm saying for Ian, of Lonely Planet, to be able to make bookings direct in a peer-to-peer way, directly from guides, tour guides, or blogs, directly to hotels. So killing in the middleman and sharing it's the same way as Eurex shares the liquidity pool, sharing the inventory of all the booking availabilities. Okay, and one other important point is regulation. We're a utility token, fully regulated, incorporated in France.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're out of time. All right, are you ready? Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
So Sunblock is essentially a decentralized marketplace of rewards and data. I know you are really demanding, so I just quit the introduction and go to answer all your questions. So yes, we have a working product. It's available on Android and iOS right now. Yes, we have users. We have more than 40K users on the app using it every week through all the campaigns. Yes, we have a protocol and it's available right now on GitHub, so you might check it out. Yes, we have clients. We have more than 40 campaigns running by crypto brands in the coming weeks and months. Yes, we have huge partners. Avas Group just announced our partnership with them to create tokens for sport clubs to reward their customers, their fans, sorry. Yes, we have a small cap. We have a 8 million hard cap. And last but not least, we do have a female co-founder, Sarah Diane, that was supposed to be here, but she'll be here in a few hours, I guess. And that's all for now. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right. Thanks. You ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go.
Hi, I'm Louis. I'm CTO and co-founder at Universal Reward Protocol. What we're building is a blockchain-based protocol that lets retailers and brands interact directly and transparently with the shoppers by enabling them to reward any kind of shopping behavior, online and offline, such as simply visiting a store, making a purchase, posting on social media, etc. So the way it works is that a retailer or a brand can create a campaign by defining a shopping behavior they want to incentivize and defining a reward amount in URP tokens. Then the campaign gets published on the blockchain as a smart contract, and the shopper on the other side can opt in to this campaign on a mobile application. Then a collection of decentralized applications that connect to the protocol can collect and analyze the shopping behavior to produce what we call proof of behavior, which is basically a proof that the shopping behavior meets the criteria of the campaign so that it can release the reward. So our team is composed of tech entrepreneurs from École Polytechnique and UC Berkeley. Our COO is the former CEO of Catalina Marketing, which is the biggest couponing company in the world. We also have people formerly at UBS and Goldman Sachs. We already deployed an in-store analytics, shopping behavior analytics solution with some of the world's biggest retailers, including Carrefour, Auchan, and Galeries Lafayette. And this solution now analyzes hundreds of thousands of shoppers every day. What can I say else? Yeah, we have a team of star advisors surrounding us, including the former head of innovation at Auchan, which is a 44 billion euro retailer, the chief digital officer at Nestlé, the biggest food company in the world, and the lead blockchain developer at Stratus. Looking forward to tell you more at the second one.
All right, thank you, thank you. All right, so let's have those ICOs that just pitched come back here, actually come here in the front, please. Then I will have you mention your project again to make sure everybody knows which project is which, right? Yeah, same order, please. So just pass the mic. And the judges, please get ready. Okay. Your project again?
So, everybody can read it. It's BlockPit. We're doing the tax calculation stuff.
So, BlockPit, correct? Yeah. BlockPit, okay.
BTU protocol.
BTU protocol.
Sunblock, the
Sunblock.
rewards and marketplace of data.
Universal Reward Protocol, or URP.
All right, thank you. First of all, guys, thank you guys so much for pitching. Unfortunately, not everybody can win today, but just want to say thank you before you guys may possibly get upset. All right, so first up is Ugo. Tell us which project you like the most and which one you want to go to the next round. Here, come here on stage in the front for the whole world to see. No, right here, sorry.
Okay. The project that I like the most so far is URP. And the reason why I like them is I like the team. I like the team they mentioned. I like the partnerships that they have so far. The idea is okay, but I think, if they have a chance to execute on it, I think, they'll do really well. But I do like the team behind them just based on what I heard so far. So I'd definitely like to learn more.
Okay. All right.
All right. I like BlockPit. I think you guys are solving a huge problem that most of us investors are dealing with. That's taxation, right? There's not a lot of products that are kind of doing the dirty work. It's almost like somebody has to do it, so why not do it, right? So for that reason, I want to see you guys in the next round.
All right, thank you, Diego. And then from the community.
Thanks. So I personally knew Sandblock as I already have downloaded their app, but to be honest, I didn't understand what it was about. So I'm sorry about that. And I'm gonna choose URP because, as they said, they have a great team and they already have a testing products with some great companies, and I hope them the best.
All right, so we got 2 votes for URP and 1 for BlockPit. You guys are going to the next round. The rest of you, thank you. Okay, all right. And then there were 2. Who will be the winner? Okay, so let's have BlockPit come up. Okay, so now you will get 4 minutes to pitch. Okay, have a seat, take your time. Want some water as well?
I like that more, yeah, that's good.
You like wine? Okay.
You got that?
Here, we'll give you this with the mic. Is that the mic working?
Yeah, it's it. Yeah, but it generates distraction.
Okay, all right, so we'll have you get interviewed by this panel of judges, starting with you. All right, so I'll put 4 minutes on the clock. All right, 4 minutes. You guys can grill him on any questions you have. Starting now.
Okay, so you said you were able to report taxes for crypto gains. How would it be possible to manage this with all taxes in other different countries? I mean, does it apply for all countries? I mean, whatever I'm living.
So the beta actually works for Germany and Austria because I'm from Austria, and the tax laws are pretty similar. Actually, it's kind of like 80%. It's the same for every country, like how you calculate profits, how you calculate losses. Then there are some like specialities. For example, in Austria, when you hold a crypto asset for 1 year, it becomes tax-free. That's some things we have to consider. And also like the different calculation methods, like first in, first out, last in, first out. Maybe even an optimized version that's like applicable in the country. So we are adding more and more like possibilities and countries as we go. That's why we're still in beta, and we are taking all the user feedback and like developing with a focus on Europe because we have a lot of willing taxpayers here. There are some competitors coming out in the US right now, especially for the US market. So we try to focus on Europe because we are one of the first movers here, and I think we have to use that advantage.
Okay. All right, let's have Diego. One question each judges.
Okay, so tell me about your token metrics. I believe you're raising 20 million, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it's 12.5 maximum.
25 million?
12.5.
12.5, oh, even better. So what percentage of that is going towards the crowd sale? And then the remaining, how do you plan on distributing out?
So we are doing 3 million in a private sale. That's almost full right now. We started in second half of May with that. Then we are opting in for a whitelisting for a kind of pre-sale bonus up to 7.5 million of 20% that you can claim in the first 24 hours of the token sale, and then it's open for everyone. So you have to whitelist first. We're starting in mid-July with opening the whitelist. And with this 12.5 million, we are selling 70% of the tokens. We are keeping 15% back for like some kind of liquidity pool and then future projects, like working together with exchanges, giving them some kind of incentives for users that are reporting the taxes out of the exchanges. We're having 5% for our team, 3% in the bounty program, and 7% for pre-ICO contributors like our advisors.
All right, here we go. Next question.
Can you tell me more about the token utility? What will your tokens be used for?
So that was actually one thing we are really, like my problem that I have, because I'm investing for 3 years right now also in a lot of ICOs. The token has to be sustainable and like not just replaceable with something else, but also make sense, of course, and not be too complicated in the system. So our token is a classical application access token, if you want to call it like that. So if you want to use our platform, you will have to buy our token first. It works like that. We didn't want to make a normal subscription model, but make it like stepless. So depending on how much transactions you have, depending on how much exchanges you're trading simultaneously, you would have to pay tokens. So it actually works like that. You stake the tokens for 1 year, like a tax period. So you buy them and stake them in your account. And then we'll take like a fee every month from that stake. And if the token price rises, you will get a lot of token back at the end of this period.
All right.
Thank you.
I'll ask one question. Can you go through the team again and tell us what all stars you have on the team?
All right, so I'm the CEO. I have been working 4 years at KPMG. I studied media technology, so I'm a kind of an all-rounder guy. Then I have my tech guy, my CTO, is a serial entrepreneur in the tech space. He also studied at the same university as I did. Then we have co-founders. No listed company yet, sorry. No, he is just 24 years old, so he just finished his studies and founded 2 companies before that. Then we have co-founders, so 2 partners of KPMG, so partners from KPMG in Austria, 1 licensed tax advisor, one us from the cybersecurity advisory.
We are out of time. Thank you. All right, next up. So this is Universal Reward Protocol.
Yes.
Right, URP. All right, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, actually, give him the mic. All right.
So you've talked about the companies that you are already working with. Are they using actually the blockchain, and are they using the token? Because I mean, this is the main issue of all ICOs today. Are the companies really using the tokens?
Sure. So to clarify, the companies we've deployed the solution with, they're not using the protocol yet. What we've built first is a solution that enables us to prove the proof of behavior for the store visit. So that's what they have. We're not using the tokens to reward people yet. What we wanted is to first have the solution that lets one use case of the several shopping behaviors we want to be able to reward working, and now we're building the protocol around that to let different apps connect to it and reward the rest of the facets of the shopping behavior. So to clarify, they're not using a blockchain solution currently.
All right, Diego?
All right, so I'll go for two of the most important questions. Team, tell me about your all-star teams, and also break down the token metrics for me.
Sure. So the team, me and my co-founder, Yves, we met at École Polytechnique. We're both engineers. We've both spent the last 3 years building tech for retailers. That's also how we met one of our advisors, who's the former head of innovation at Auchan. So we kind of know this industry very well. We also have Thomas. He's the COO. He used to run the Europe part of the biggest couponing company in the world. It used to be a public company. I think it's not anymore. Some of the others are here. So we have several developers, marketing experts, and our goal is to onboard, so that's what we're trying to get now, is to onboard as many brands and retailers very early in the game to be able to know, to build a product for them that really works and that's really useful. As for the token metrics, our soft cap is 5 million, our hard cap is 20. The token sale represents 40% of the token supply. There's another 35% reserve that will be used partly to facilitate the onboarding of retailers and brands, because we know they're not really technophile companies. So we'll use that to onboard them and also all the DApps, because we want the DApps to come and audit all facets of the shopping behavior. I'll stop there to give you time.
Can you walk us through your roadmap, starting from token sale and when your mainnet and everything is launched, and the partnerships maybe that you plan to have in the future?
Sure, so the private sale is just about to start, actually. We plan to have a token sale in September to give us time to actually build the MVP of the protocol before that. So that's what we're going to spend the summer on. And then the other very important part of the business roadmap is to get LOIs, letter of intentions, from retailer and brands to actually have them tell us whether or not this product is going to be useful for them. We really think it's going to add value to shoppers, because it's a way for them to earn rewards by just shopping, but we want to be sure that the industry is going to use that as well. So that's our roadmap.
Thank you.
All right, I have one last question. So you doing rewards and marketing, basically, right? And influencing? That's kind of what your niche is. There have been several ICOs that have come out doing the same thing that have just been duds from the investor perspective. This actually, in a way, reminds me of In the Hash. Not quite the same thing, but In the Hash and lots of other projects. What was the other one that was pretty big? The gaming one? Do you guys know? Yeah, Referium. That's below ICO price as well, right?
I think Referium was
I think, right?
Was in the gaming industry, was it?
Yeah. But anyway, projects have done poorly. What's your answer to that?
We think do you want me to answer still?
Okay, yeah.
I think the approach is different. We're taking a protocol approach. We want the several DApps to be in charge of actually auditing the behavior, and the token is universal in the way it can be used with all retailers and brands that participate. So.
All right. So now, thank you to both of these companies. Let's have you come up here in the front. Here in the front again. So, and then there were two. First of all, thank you guys for participating. It's been a pleasure. If I could, I would have both of you win, but I cannot. You know, I don't have that much money to invest in 2 ICOs. I have to go big in one. All right, so let's give it to the judges. Ugo, which one do you think should be the winner and crown the best ICO at this event? Not financial advice, obviously. Always do your own research. Here in Paris. Who's the winner of the Crypto World Tour event in Paris, in your opinion?
In my opinion, I would have to go with Blockbit. And the reason, after learning more about the team, as well as, I guess, the use case and kind of what they have planned, I think is definitely something that we could use in the crypto space. And I've seen a lot of ICOs, but I don't think I've actually seen one that have tried to tackle this problem. So I want to, give them a chance to learn more and hopefully find a niche within the space.
All right, thank you.
All right, so I'm also gonna go with BlockPit. I need your services. Yeah, straight to the point. I need these are services that I think are gonna come in handy for the mass majority. Yeah, I just you know, it's one of those things that most of us didn't really consider at the beginning, right? And we just kind of lagged and just dragged it, and now I'm behind. So hopefully, you know, like I said, you guys can execute, and I want to learn more about your project.
All right, thank you, Diego.
I really like the idea of URP, and I like the team, and I'm from France, and I know that guys from Polytechnics are good, but your metrics are quite bad. I mean, the valuation is too high, so I'm gonna choose finally BlockPit. I'm sorry for that.
Oh, wow. Okay, all right. All right, so before there is one last judge that has to chime in here, which is me. I will also go with BlockPit. Now, obviously, this is not any kind of financial advice. I've not invested, and I've not really done any homework on the company until today, right? But now you guys have my attention. I want to do more homework on you guys. When you guys mentioned, first of all, you guys basically are DApp, right? When DApps come into the space, they have these lofty goals of trying to take as much money as possible. The fact that you're a DApp and you're very modest, only raising 12.5 million, and you already have a product, and I want to do more homework on the team to verify the all-star teamness, right? But when you mentioned you've worked at KPMG for 4 years, then you have 2 partners from KPMG. Are they working full-time? No? Okay, all right. Well, that's the kind of homework I have to do, right? But anyway, I want to do more homework on that because, I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be a Wabi, but Wabi was similar. Good team, product, very low cap for a DApp with a hardware portion, right? So with that being said, I'm glad you won. Congratulations. All right, and as the winner, you get to stay up on stage and have an AMA with the audience. All right, and thank you guys for participating. You can now have a seat. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so anybody, you guys can have a seat as well, judges. All right, so who has a question for BlockPit? In the back? Okay, we'll work our way in the back. Right, so you had a question? Yeah.
I'll sit in the back. Hey Ian, thanks. Welcome to Paris. Yeah, I have a small question when it comes to the laws of different countries in Europe, because I think you said you'd start out in Europe, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So how will you? I guess you have a good legal team already, right? How are you going to implement the differences between different European countries and the taxes that go with it? For example, you know, in France, it's totally different than in England, for example. Too bad. France needs to do a lot better job when it comes to taxes. What do you guys think? Come on, France, lower those taxes. Anyways, that's my question. How are you going to implement that with all the different countries in Europe? Thank you.
So first, congrats on like the tax reduction in France. Yeah, you got it to 19%. Macron is really behind the crypto stuff. It's a lie? Okay. So I'm not in the legal team, so I don't know exactly. But yeah, as I said, we have KPMG as a partner. They have a global network, so they are present in almost every country. So we're getting the tax infos there first. And how we're implementing it is like we're going country by country, looking at how is like the regulation there. Most likely it's not fixed, so they're like taking the laws that exist right now and adapting to crypto, like capital markets, gold, speculation markets, whatever. But there is some kind of clarification how it's done, and also like what is possible to use, like first in, first out, last in, first out. It depends on the country. So we in the application have like a country selector, and once you select the country, you get the applicable ways of calculating it, and you can set it, and then everything is done in backend. So we're really trying to do it as easy as possible for the user to not set any wrong things for his country. So we're really limiting you to what you can choose that's legally applicable.
Congratulations once again. I have two questions for you. First question is there a real need for decentralized service? Like for what you do, is there a real decentralized need for that? And second question is, what actually differentiates you from companies like CoinTracker, where they already have the DApp already working and you can just pay with fiat or with Bitcoin? What differentiates your service from the other competition out there?
Thank you for asking that. I was waiting for that. So we are not really decentralized, so not 100% decentralized. So our platform is like the funnel that creates this report. What's really decentralized is the marketplace. So we are working with a lot of tax consultants worldwide, also with the government. So we are trying to really set the standard that's accepted by the government in the country. We reached that in Austria, so we are working with the Austrian government and the Austrian Ministry of Finance for doing that. And we also have, I think we're the only one, I don't think CoinTracker will guarantee you that their calculations are correct. They can't, you just have to trust them to do it. We got our tool audited and by KPMG, so we kind of have a proof that we are gathering data correctly, that we are calculating things correctly. And also, I'm not sure about the pricing model of CoinTracker. Most likely we get compared with CoinTracking. They have like a one-time fee for a subscription fee with limited ways of choosing. So I have under 100 trades, then it's that model, and over 10,000 trades. So, and most likely many people are between that. So I don't want to pay the low fee because I have like 250, but the highest is too high. So we are trying to do this stepless limit with the token, where you can really choose what is right for you. And if you're trading more, then you can just upgrade it.
Congrats. So you said you're audited by KPMG, but what happens if you're wrong and I'm wrong with my taxes? Can I ask you what happened and stuff like this?
So what you're doing right now is, if these tools didn't exist, you would export your order histories from the exchange, maybe go to a tax consultant, most likely go to a tax consultant, and he will take over liability for a fee. So he is liable if it is wrong. Of course, you will have to sign that you did everything accordingly to the best of your knowledge, but he takes over that. So, and that's the same with us. So we have an open market for tax consultants who adapt to the platform and offer in your country to take over the liability for a small extra fee. They know our report, they know our calculations, that's why they save a lot of time, but they will take over the liability. If you don't want this service, you say, okay, I'm pretty sure I did everything correctly. I can just export the report and submit it myself directly to the financial authorities.
Is it expensive?
So actually what we are trying to go for, as an average trader after our research does between 50 and 150 trades per year, and that will be around 50 euro per year in tokens for just the service from us. And then depending on what these tax advisors are charging, it's an open market, so I think there will be some price competition between those. Everybody can connect. To connect, you would have to purchase tokens and hold tokens as well to use the service. So that's an open market, and hopefully they will keep the price low for that services.
Thank you.
Hello, congratulations. There is one concern that I have with respect to the token metrics that you have given. You said that the hard cap is 12.5 million? Okay, so...
In euro.
In euro. So with respect to what is happening recently in the market, the trend right now is that most of the money has to be used to be able to be listed in big exchange if you want to have exposure. But 12.5 million won't be enough for you to go to the big exchange. And before you start moving, you will have other competitors who will start to raise money, or bigger projects who have enough money maybe to come into your area. So my question is, don't you think that 12.5 million is not enough?
Actually, we wanted to raise 8 million because that was what we expected to need for the next 2 or 3 years, what we are planning to do. But as I said, it's too low as a cap for exchanges. You won't get taken seriously for under 10 million. So we raised it to 12.5 and included some other features we want to do with the rest of the money. But actually we have kind of an unfair advantage in that, because we got asked by a few exchanges already that want to implement this service, especially if they are on European ground. They have this pressure from the regulators behind them that would ease if they would implement a feature where users can export the tax calculations from the exchange, from the trading history. Problem, almost no one trades on one exchange, so you kind of have the wrong calculations if you're doing it just from the exchange. So we are doing some kind of deal with a lot of exchanges right now where we are in negotiations to have not just this pull request via the API key, but also push from the exchange to our platform and include it in the role calculation. And then also incentivize the users via our token, so that if the user from the exchange would push that, he gets the token to use our service for free, for example, and the exchange must list us, of course, to make use of the token. So we have some kind of an unfair advantage when it comes to listing in that kind of regard.
Hey, so this is Ian. I'll just chime in there.
Oh, can I still ask a question? Or?
Yeah, you still have a question. So that's a very, very good question, right? So lots of projects are starting to be more modest and raise less money. But now exchanges are making more money and raising the amount required to list. So can you still raise a very modest amount and still get into a good exchange? I think it depends on what you define as a good exchange. And that's something that's changing a lot. But I know Wabi got into Binance. They only raised 10, 12 million. So it's doable, right?
Yeah.
But I think the bar is even higher, right? Like, you have to really be you have to check all the boxes for that exchange.
Maybe I can add on something to that. I think it's better to raise 12.5 million at the 12.5 million hard cap than to raise 15 million on a 20 million hard cap. Because if the demand is gone in the ICO and you get listed on the exchange, nobody will buy anymore. So I'm an investor myself in ICOs and a lot of those.
They can still buy. I don't think that correlates at all.
Huh?
So you're saying you would rather, as opposed to having 15, 20 million, do 10, 12 million to have that demand, to have it translated over to exchanges? That's what you're saying?
I'm not exactly sure if I understand that. I think that it's better to have demand after the ICO than to raise 2 million more and not have demand after the ICO when you hit the exchanges. Also for investors, of course. Okay. So a lot of people have this momentum and they miss it. So I think you shouldn't be greedy when it comes to exchange listing, when you have the momentum, when you get first listed on IDEX and on small exchanges.
I'll just try to make an example. I mean, I think your cap is good. Please don't increase it. But with that being said, though, I think it's better to generate as much demand as possible and then immediately go to an exchange. Because it doesn't matter how much demand you have, but if it takes 1 to 2 months to list, then the demand goes elsewhere. Because people in crypto world are very transient almost, right? They're bouncing from ICO to ICO to ICO. Every week, every month is a hot ICO.
Yeah, sure.
Right? You could be the hottest ICO of the month, but if it takes you 4 months to list, by the time you list, there have been 4 other hot ICOs that have come out of each month.
I know exactly, that's
right?
true.
That's why I think QuirkChain did it amazingly well. I believe their crowd sale ended, then they immediately went to Binance and KuCoin. They went back to back. So
we have a plan for exchange listing, but I don't want to talk too much about it because it would be information I can't disclose. But of course, since I'm investing myself for quite a time now, I think I know what's important when it comes to listing and how to use that momentum to really not like lose the volume that you can generate in the beginning when you are sold out in an ICO.
All right. Okay. Question?
Thanks. I do understand there's definitely a use case for your services, but I want to know why does your company need the blockchain technology, and also what is the reason? For example, why would I not just go to a normal service like a tax service and pay them a yearly subscription for doing my tax declaration?
So you will be a lot more expensive if you do that. I can guarantee that. Why do we need a blockchain? We could have done a classic freemium model, like having the beta and platform and just charge users depending on different categories, and then generate revenue slowly. And the crypto space is one thing, but it is not. It's slowly. So there are competitors coming out. We have kind of a head start in a lot of regards, and we want to use that to really set a standard for crypto tax reporting, at least in Europe. And for that, we need the funds now. So that's why we decided to do a token sale. I think it's a kind of use case where you can use it. An application access token will become more common in the future. I think it is. But that's the main reason. So we don't want to lose like the lead we have right now because we are running out of funds.
Okay. So it's a quick way, at least, to get the funds to get the company going. Basically.
Exactly. To just move faster than our competition that's coming out right now.
Okay. Cool. Thanks.
Any other questions?
just to clarify the token use case, it sounds like it's more of like a membership kind of utility. The more you have, the more features you get access to, or is there something else about the token use case you could expand upon?
Exactly. The more tokens you like stake in your account, the higher limits you unlock when it comes to transactions, and also like different exchanges you can implement simultaneously. But also we are kind of trying to do some kind of tax optimization stuff. So giving you tax hints on customized to your portfolio. So let's say like it is the end of the year and you have a lot of unrealized losses. We would tell you to maybe sell those and instantly buy them to like lower your tax liabilities and that kind of stuff that we would unlock when staking more tokens. The whole system is like planning to take tokens away from the market, like limiting circulating supply. The more users join, that will ultimately most likely drive the token price and reward first like adapters, but also like keeping the entry levels fair. So if the token price is volatile, the prices in token on the service will adapt to that.
All right. Any other questions for the project?
One question here.
All right.
So what previous conferences have you guys attended? And do you guys have anything in the future, any roadmap for conferences to continue and expand your brand, right, internationally, Europe, America, so on and so forth?
So we're trying to attend as many as possible. Token 2094 we have been at, also a lot of conferences in Amsterdam, most likely focusing now on Europe because it's our target market, Block Show in Berlin, what's it called, Blockchain conference in UK it was. Right now I'm here, I'm flying to Dublin to the MoneyConf, I think it's one of the biggest events there, we're going to pitch there as well, so we made it to the finals there. After that, there is the Babbitt Summit in Sofia, then there's something in Amsterdam again, I think. Not really sure, my calendar is pretty full, but we are doing the roadshow definitely, and even continue to do it after the ICO because it's all about user acquisition for us. Because our investors will probably be our users in the future, and when it comes down to generating revenue in the future, we will need this user base. And of course also for exchange listings you need the traction on your platform, the user base. So we'll continue to do that until 10 million users, I don't know, so definitely.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you. So we have the winner of the Paris Crypto World Tour. We gotta take a stand up. We gotta take an honorary selfie now.
That's good. With the crowd in the background?
Yes. All right, there we go. And before anybody asks, no, I'm not advising.
Not yet.
No, I'm not advising. Right now. All right. All right, but thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. Merci beaucoup.
Likewise.
S'il vous plaît.
No time for party? No.
Later. All right,
Later,
so
okay.
up next is now the AMA. Now you guys can ask me any question. If you have any questions for even Hugo, Diego, or even our honorary judge over here, feel free to ask away, all right? So we'll give, here, how about this? We'll give one mic here and one mic over here and just pass them down, all right? That will save some of the back and forth. Anybody here with a question?
Yeah, I have a quick question. Ian, have you ever heard of Vault 12?
Yes, I did. They actually pitched at our last event in Bucharest, right? Bucharest? No. Budapest. There's so many stops we forget. But Budapest. They pitched in Budapest. And they did not win. But I've not really looked into it since then. So I don't know much about it besides what they pitched. Right, but I haven't looked into it. Why do you ask about it?
It seems like an interesting project, especially with what happened to you and the hacking and all that.
Yeah. I am looking into a different project that's basically a hardware software wallet. And you may have seen them on my social media. They came to, I met them in South Korea, in Seoul, and also met them in Barcelona. They came to the meetup, and we'll be meeting them in Kiev, Russia. Kiev, Ukraine, and then maybe Russia as well. Oh, they came to Bucharest too? Really? I didn't meet them there. that was Prague. Oh, they came to Prague. Okay, yeah. They came to Prague and pitched there too. They've been following me everywhere.
Are the team from
Losing track.
Are
But
the
anyway,
team
we
from
got a next
Kazakhstan?
Sorry, what?
Are the team from Kazakhstan?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Because I was there at your meeting in
were there?
Barcelona. I think I met the guy. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. We want to keep it low key for now.
Okay, sure.
Not trying to blow them up just
Sure.
yet.
Of course.
Okay, what's your question?
So you released a video around beginning of January, I guess, with your forecast for the 2018 year. And do you think that those forecasts are still realizable?
The 100x
Yeah.
ICOs?
Especially for one chain and
Yeah,
Earth
so
chain.
what we're just talking about on YouTube, I had a video talking about 5 ICOs from 2017, I was most excited about in 2018. ICOs, in my opinion, I felt could do 100x. And those were Zilliqa, OneChain, RChain, POA, and what's the? Nebulous. So going back, I mean, obviously the market has been pretty bad, but I think the one on there that could still do 100x is Zilliqa. Zilliqa is now, what, 20, 30x, 25, 30x? At the peak, it was like, what, 35x? Somewhere? So I think Zilliqa is still on pace, because Q4 is going to be their quarter, right? They'll be launching dApps. Actually, one of the first dApps, Bolt, pitched at an event in Bucharest, Romania. So I think once they start having the ICOs and all that stuff, and once we get a real bull market for crypto, Zilliqa has potential. OneChain has been dragging its feet. You know, I think they've really dropped the ball post-ICO to a point where I've seen lots of people, other investors losing confidence on OneChain. And me personally, I've also lost confidence in OneChain. Then they've had lots of disorder going on internally. Dustin, the president, was moved to a different role. So I think they need to get this stuff together. RChain is also going to be launching their mainnet in Q4, I believe, right? So, but they haven't really mentioned any news regarding the dApps on their platform, so I can't really say much until then. But I think RChain could still make some moves then. POA, their roadmap has been disappointing. It's been very vague. They haven't really shared much information on their roadmap. So it seems like the team doesn't know what's going on or what they're doing. They're just trying to figure it out. Nebulous, they launched their mainnet, but it's also been disappointing. I expected a better return, ROI as an investor. But I think they have a different model. I think they aren't really doing the ICO model. I think they're kind of either self-funding or sponsoring the projects on the network or the developers on the network. But I think the main issue with them is their marketing could be better. I think their marketing is pretty bad. The way they're even just framing their project, they call it a search framework, when really it's a next-gen blockchain. So I think if they just switch that slogan from search framework to just next-gen blockchain and did better marketing, it could really take off. But out of all those, Zilliqa, I think, is a clear winner right now.
Okay, thank you.
What is your personal opinion about the Telegram project? From one hand, it's a charismatic leader, the community is huge. On the other hand, the expectation is too high, and after lock-up period is finished, it may create a bad joke with the project, because everybody expected several or 100x, and it's too high possibly. So what do you think?
Yeah, I think as a project and technology, it's amazing. Right? This is in regards to TON by Telegram, their ICO. But I think what kills it is they raised too much money. They had bad tokenomics, basically. So in my opinion, I think it's more something I would rather catch on exchanges and see how it's doing rather than get into it now. But technology-wise, it's, I mean, great team, great everything. Just, they got greedy, in my opinion.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Any thoughts about liquidity network? Have you met them or heard about them?
I've heard of them, but I haven't looked into them. I think one of you guys here did. Liquidity network?
Yeah.
I think one of you sent it to me. You're doing a Dutch auction?
Yeah. Is this bad?
Do you know what the max is for the Dutch auction? Yeah, Dutch auctions generally aren't great, but you can still find a good price point. Like Raiden had a Dutch auction, I believe, and you were able to find out a good price point, and that ended up doing a 7x or so, I believe, like the first month or so.
Yeah. Okay.
But that one I've not heard of it. That project. I mean, I've heard of it, but I've not looked into it.
Okay. And thoughts about Pundi X in long term?
And what?
Pundi X.
Pundi X
long term, yeah.
As an investment or as a
investment?
As a product.
Projects, everything.
And product, I don't think it's. I'm not really that optimistic with a product, to be honest. I had a chance to. We're in Indonesia for like what, 2 weeks almost, and they barely have adoption with credit cards. So I find it tough that they will skip credit cards and go to crypto. But most of their users, when I spoke with their CEO, Zach, who I'm close with, most of their orders for their product have come from outside of Indonesia, so that is a good thing, mainly from Europe and elsewhere. But from talking to my friends, one of my friends is a VP of retail at a publicly traded company, and they actually had a call with the team trying to figure out if they could really try out their product. But the number of regulations and concerns a big retail company would have, that product cannot solve cannot solve or ease their concerns when it comes to taking crypto via point of sales, right? Because they have so many different things working in the back end. They need all of that to be able to integrate with their POS, right? And where it is now is still primitive,
okay,
right? But as an investment, it's been amazing.
Yeah. Our question.
Thank you.
Do you have some thoughts about missing use cases in the blockchain projects landscape?
What missing use cases in blockchain?
Yes,
Like
in the
to solve?
blockchain projects landscape, as you are seeing and analyzing a lot of projects and ICOs, do you think that there is some missing use cases that should be invested by some entrepreneurs, for example?
Good question.
Actually, I'm looking for an idea.
You what?
I'm looking for an idea.
I can tell. The question is, do I want to give you an idea, and then you do it? But hey, maybe I could.
A private message.
Just
then.
give me the private sale. Just give me the private sale if you do build it. I mean, I would just start off with what's worked well in the real world as a product already, and just try to see if it's better done on a blockchain. That's what most founders are doing. Right? For me, I like video, so that's probably a space I would start off with first. Right? Like I know people are trying to do like a decentralized Netflix. Right? Like I think that's what Flixio is doing. Right? Like decentralized Netflix, decentralized YouTube, the small resistant. Yeah, I would start with that decentralized chat, like Telegram or WhatsApp, kind of like a WeChat. But in terms of what's not been done, I mean, nothing has been done great yet. So anything can be disrupted. I mean, even Ethereum can be disrupted. I mean, Ethereum's still solving their own issues. That's why you see so many people trying to focus on that, because that's the biggest issue to be solved. So just because somebody's doing it doesn't mean you can't do it better. Kind of like with Uber. Uber wasn't the first taxi on-demand app. It was just the first one to execute right. So I would just get the biggest, I would say go after Ethereum. Then give me the private sale.
Hi, Ian. Well, thanks for
Hold on,
being.
let's go back and forth. Let's alternate over here. Yeah, please pass the mics down. You can just,
Hi, Ian. Great event. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Since we are in Paris, in France, what is your opinion on France being one of the best places to do ICOs, as the French government recently announced? But what is your view on that and globally on France for blockchain and ICO?
What's my view on France, blockchain and ICO and the government and regulation? I heard about the news, but I haven't really read it, to be honest. I do know you guys did decrease taxes for crypto here to like 19, 20% from like 40 to 17. Okay, somebody's very pro-France over here. On the crypto? Crypto wallets. So social tax plus the capital gains tax. So you got to buy in crypto then, pretty much. I mean, it seems you guys are putting in an effort with crypto and taxes and ICOs. I have seen a few ICOs from France. I haven't seen like a 10x or 100x ICO from here. I think that's maybe when you guys have one, that would really put you on the map even more as a place that's fostering ICO and innovation. Because I think that's kind of what happened with Korea and ICON. Once ICON went big time, like 100x, it really gave it a platform, like a win, a big win. But once I start seeing more and more ICOs and really good ones coming out from France, that's when it really kind of started to become like a hub for blockchain and ICO investing. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Hi, Ian. Well, thanks for being here tonight. My question is, from your point of view, having seen so many ICOs from many countries, would there be one country more than the other that you would recommend where to register the ICO, like geographically, for tax reasons?
To register an ICO? This is a tough question. First thing, I'm not a legal or financial advisor. Not legal or financial advice.
It's all right.
I'm seeing lots of other projects register. I think I've been hearing some do like Malta, because Binance moved to Malta, because Binance was getting kicked out of every country they were trying to go to. They're in China, they got kicked out. I think they went to Japan, got kicked out or something. Or well, maybe not kicked out, but it wasn't friendly for what they're trying to do. And they're trying lots of different locations, and Malta said, come on over. And they went there, and it seems now they're really investing in the Malta blockchain community. So I'm seeing lots of people, or projects and founders and entrepreneurs go to Malta. I've seen some still use the standard like Cayman Islands or Switzerland. I've seen ever since last year lots of projects no longer go to Singapore. It seems it's not really the place to be anymore, just from seeing where projects are being founded from. So that's kind of what I'm seeing projects do at the moment. Do you guys have any other countries you want to add to it? Portugal? Okay. Oh, Gibraltar's one too. Gibraltar? To Morocco. Okay, all right. Oui.
Thank you.
All right, please pass down the mic. Make sure it gets all the way back down. The people in the back too. No, I mean once you're done, pass it to the row behind you.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, so I actually flew all the way from Canada here to ask you this question. And I got to know really, how can a person get into your Patreon group? Because honestly, I think that's where that's where the spaceship is, really. Like, the spaceship to the moon is right there. I don't want to watch it from afar. I want to be in the ship, you know? So I thought I'll come in person to ask, maybe not, you know?
I mean, it's a great question. I get it a lot. Rob's also asked the same question before. I mean, but unfortunately, there are limited seats in the Patreon, and I've been trying to figure out how to really do it differently, but we can't, because now we're having an issue. It is a good issue, but everybody in there is becoming a whale. So when you start having gas wars in a Patreon with like 20 people, 20, 30 people, then you know it's an issue. I haven't even thought about making it smaller. But eventually, though, in terms of just where we're going as a business and what we're trying to do, we have so many other ventures we're trying to focus on. The plan is to close that Patreon this year, right? So it won't be anything, it won't be there for a while. All I can say is the best thing to do is try to create your own Patreon through other people you meet and trust. Right? So maybe you and Rob could form a Patreon together, right? Because Patreon with me, right? It began with me, Ugo, and some other people, other investors. I would go to conferences, crypto conferences, events like this, meet people, talk with them, network with them, and keep in touch over Telegram. Then after a while, I had so many different people over Telegram, like let's just put them in a group and just share ideas there. And that's when it really blew off. Because when you have people all over the world, imagine you have 2 people on each continent who are hardcore in crypto, like all in, like 24/7 crypto. If you have somebody doing that in Asia, in South America, in Europe, America, Africa, wherever, you basically have a network, a decentralized network of information flowing. So you just wake up every single day and you know what's happening in every corner of the world without being there. So let's say you have 2 people full-time in crypto working in Asia. They tell you about the next hot ICO happening on NEO. And they just had lunch with the founder. Boom. Yeah, you're in touch with them. Maybe they can give you access to the private sub, pre-sale. So that is my tip to you. Just go to conferences, events. If you're willing to fly from Canada to here, I know you're willing to fly elsewhere. So go to events like this, find like 5 people who fit your criteria of what you're trying to do with your group, and add up to a group. And slowly but surely, you have your own Patreon. Does that answer your question?
Yes and no. Still want to know how to get in that spaceship. But thank you so much. Thank you.
It's sold out right now. It isn't space. But keep checking. All right, let's go over here.
Hi, Ian. Actually, this is it's kind of the same type of question. So I believe that you get these amazing deals and pre-sales through contacts and networking. So my question is, what type of person should I reach to get, this type of good deals, good ICOs? Where can I find them? And how is your tactics to give them value?
Good question. So how do you network and build your own Patreon, and basically, or your own network of other investors? Well, first thing, what, in my opinion, separates people from others in this space is if you tell them you're doing this full time.
Okay.
Because they know that you gave up a day job or whatever to do this full time.
Okay.
Like with me, I would say when I left my job at IBM to go full time into this, they knew that I was serious about this. I wasn't just joking around, doing this on the side, on the weekends, whatever. So I think that's the first thing people really look for, like with us. When I talk to somebody and I know he's doing this full time, I know he's serious on this. Right? Because I know, okay, we can then do stuff together. Like if I say here, there's an opportunity to go invest in the next icon in Tokyo, Japan. Let's go have dinner with them or go to their conference. They want to go there because they're full time into this. They don't have anything distracting them or whatever. They can take meetings. So that's the first thing I would say. That makes you stand out from everybody else when you're doing this full time. And then I would say bring them great deals. Like, if your first deal to them is a home run, the problem will change. They'll chase you. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Because for me, for example, I get pitched all the time, like every day. To a point that, people will pitch me, then try to pitch me through my team, through Dan, through Drew, through Ugo, Diego. They try to circumnavigate and pitch me at so many different angles. And eventually somebody will break through and get my attention. But the first thing is, if they get my attention, I expect something good. So if they pitch me something and just looking at the data, when I do my own research and it confirms it, like if they bring me a quirk chain, that's amazing. Next time they pitch me, they won't have to go through this entire maze just to find me or just to get my time. I'll make time because I know this person is very credible. But if they bring me something that ends up being, for lack of a better word, garbage, just a bad project, I'm like, okay, you know what? This person has a different investment strategy. You probably don't make the same types of investments. Next time he brings me something, I'll be even harder to get because I know he has a different. Because my time is valuable, right? Not to be rude, but when you're doing this full time, you have so many different ways to go, and your time is limited. So you have to really narrow down what you're focusing on. And if you want to really offer value, find a good project, bring them that project, and if they like it,
okay,
then that communication will always be, that line of access will always be there.
okay.
Like for example, if somebody came to me here today, I've never met them, and they brought me the next icon, and from doing my homework, I thought it was a nice icon, I'll give them my contact info, we'll stay in touch, I may invite them out to a conference, whatever, right? But if they bring me a dud, right? So it's very hard to do, but I would say just by offering value, just see what issues they have, what their investor, bring them great investments.
Okay. Thanks.
And if you're just starting out, you may only get one shot. So only bring the best. Right? So this kind of, does that answer your question?
Yes, perfectly.
All right, please pass it down.
Thanks.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm glad you fly to us. I hope you will have time to visit our beautiful city, you and your team.
Yes, yeah, last time we went to the Eiffel Tower, then we plan to go to the Louvre later in the next day or two, and some other places.
Nice. I'm surprised no one has talked about Bitcoin here. Here we are. And as banks have are the biggest actors in our financial system, do you truly believe that one day Bitcoin will be used as fiat it is now?
Do I think Bitcoin will be used as...
mainly adopt.
Well, go mainstream?
Yeah.
Like world?
Yeah.
Bitcoin, not in its current form, but maybe, I think there will obviously be more innovation on Bitcoin. But I think there'll be lots of other currencies that also go mainstream. Because Bitcoin right now, in my opinion, is kind of being used as a store of value. It's not really being used as a currency. But I'm still bullish on Bitcoin, but not as an investor, just more of a utility and use case. Like, I don't own any Bitcoin at all. Just from an investment perspective, it doesn't make sense from an ROI standpoint when ICOs are better investments. But what I'm really bullish on is a project called RSK, Rootstock.
Yeah, Rootstock,
that's
technology.
More contract onto Bitcoin. So I think that's really going to take Bitcoin to the next level. Right, so just by definition of RSK, I think it's going to make Bitcoin more sexy when all the Ethereum dApps can be put over to Bitcoin and run on Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is more secure and all that. But investment perspective, no. But adoption, I think RSK will help with that. Rootstock will help with that.
And Lightning, maybe? Lightning Network.
And Lightning Network?
Yeah, maybe, no?
That as well. I think RSK is also doing their own version of Lightning Network.
Yeah.
So
they had private sales a week ago.
Who?
Rootstock. No, not for.
Rootstock had their private sale for a while.
Did you invest in?
No, I did not. I mean, token metrics were not great, but I would have just put money in just because it's RSK. It's one of the few ones where I would have made an exception. But they're very picky on who they're letting in, and very few people got in. And I think it was mainly funds and big investors.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Hi. Yes.
Hi.
Welcome again. Great to see you and the team. And have you heard about Holochain? Or Holochain, yes. We're like a bit outside of the blocks, right? But
Holochain?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, I've heard of it. That's one that did like a 15x, I think, right?
Yeah, they did. It went up, to I think a 12x. But it's a bit different. Like, it's not blockchain at all. It's a different technology. It seems to be fully decentralized, and I think one of the features that could really be interesting is that they claim to be going on 1 billion transactions per second.
1 billion?
1 billion, yeah, but it's not blockchain, so we cannot. I don't think we can compare it like with the same, frame as if it was blockchain, simply because it doesn't use use consensus. It doesn't need consensus to, to perform. And it seems that it's like taking back the internet and humanizing the internet. Like everybody can protect fully, like it'll be fully decentralized. Because we talk about decentralization as a blockchain and everything, but there is still a consensus that is sort of deciding, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
has to decide.
we're going there, but it's not totally. So I wanted to know that if you're more into like, you know, backing up something like that, like the whole.
I looked at it. I passed on it.
You did, yes.
Yeah, I did pass on it. Ended up doing well, right? So, congratulations to those who invested or were part of it. But me, if the tokenomics don't add up, I don't get in, right? So I'm not in the project. And I think it was mainly the team. I think the team in the tokenomics was decent, but I think they had like, what, 20 billion tokens or something like that?
No, actually, their system is a bit different. Like they have tokens, which are utilities, but not currency per se. Like it will be swapped to their actual currency later on once the mainnet will be launched, and it seems that the supply is going to be adjusted as per the demand. Okay. So.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't invest.
Well, maybe.
And I mean, if the data, to me personally, doesn't say it's good, I don't get in, even if it may end up doing well at the moment.
Sure.
But long term, I don't get in. Okay. But I mean, I wish everybody the best who got into holochain.
All right.
Hope you guys go to the moon.
Sure.
Right, but there are many moons for everybody.
Okay. And my second question was relating to I was watching one of your intervention on YouTube, and you were saying that you were once one of your how you say that whatever. You're going to give back to Africa, and I would like to give us your opinion on how you envision Africa into this, whole.
Yeah, amazing. Good question. Well. So let me actually go on the stage for this. Okay. I haven't really shared this much anywhere, but as you guys know, we're having our Africa World Tour in Q4. So after Europe, we'll do Middle East for about a month, then we'll do Africa. Locations have been announced, no dates yet. We'll be starting off with Cairo, Egypt, then going to Accra, Ghana, Lagos, Nigeria, Kampala, Uganda, my birthplace. So that's going to be my homecoming. My first time back in Uganda in over 21 years. So it's going to be amazing for me. I think it's going to be one of the best trips ever. I'll show you guys everywhere, take you guys to my village with my team, Dan, documenting everything, coming back as the made man, a changed man, doing Nairobi, Kenya, then Cape Town, South Africa. Now, one of the things I wanted to do is, this is why our team is investing a lot into these live events. So imagine we're here now in Paris, and we're having all these different projects come and pitch, and we're basically kickstarting and creating this community of other ICO investors and people in the crypto and blockchain. One of the visions I have is, imagine as this event gets bigger and bigger and becomes truly a world global event, imagine if we go back to my birthplace, Kampala, Uganda, and have an event like this. And we have the best ICOs in the world flying in to pitch because they want to have the platform and possibly the Ian Balina effect. Imagine if we have the next Ethereum, the next Icon, the next OneChain pitching in my birthplace, Kampala, Uganda, and all the entrepreneurs there seeing that and really seeing the vision of blockchain and crypto and just kind of falling in love with it and becoming a part of it because they're seeing the best of the world here in their city and their home, right? So I think it's a beautiful thing. Also, this is very early up, but I want to explore possibly partnering with some kind of charity in Uganda or Africa, maybe even starting a tokenomics school or crypto or blockchain school in Kampala. That's something I have in the back of my mind. So these are different ideas of what I'm trying to do to bring crypto blockchain to Africa.
Beautiful, yeah.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, I have just a question for you. It's what is your thought about the evolution of the crypto markets in the next months, and which kind of events could get some help to get out from this bearish market? Do you have some insights about it?
What will get us out of the bear market?
Yeah, so which kind of events could help?
That's tough. I mean, if I knew that, I wouldn't be here. I'd have even more money and doing something else. I'm kidding. I mean, the market is the market. I would say regulation is probably the biggest thing that would really catapult us back into a bullish market. Regulation coming from different side of things. I know, like in Korea, for example, their Congress, or the version of the Congress, put out a proposal to accept ICOs again from Korea. That's one example. And maybe other different jurisdictions. If China all of a sudden welcomed all exchanges back or something like that, or even ICOs, that would really push the market towards a bullish perspective. So I think regulation is the biggest thing. Do you guys want to chime in here? Yeah, sorry.
You want my thoughts on crypto regulation?
On what could kickstart us back into a bullish market?
Well, to be honest, I don't know. I mean, I know markets are cyclical, and we definitely want. Everyone is definitely waiting for bull market. I think that CME futures, from that point, market starts going down. Started at that time going down. So I really don't know how we could go to a bull run. We need fresh money for sure. There is no fresh money.
We need to go mainstream.
And we need to go mainstream. I mean, Binance and Coinbase, they all stopped at registrations at some time, and it did some harm to the market. I'm pretty sure about that.
Thank you, Diego. I think the market is kind of patiently waiting for, I would say, smart money to get in. I mean, if you look at what happened between December and January, a lot of people were chasing the hype, and all these people ran when they lost 50% of their portfolio, and they're not just gonna get in, you know, just because they've witnessed losing money. So I think we're in a position where there's uncertainty regarding regulation, and I think there's a lot of smart money, institutional money waiting to get in, but they cannot. So till crypto becomes regulated and every direction is kind of clear where the market is going, I think that's when the smart money is going to go in, and we're going to reach all-time highs. I think right now it's pretty much people pumping 10% and then it drops the next day and it's kind of stale. So till regulation really comes in, I think that's when we're going to see the next bull run. That's the signs that I'm seeing.
Thank you. So I think that back in December, the market kind of showed us that the technology wasn't really supporting the volume of capital that was being injected. CryptoKitties clogged up Ethereum, right? And it was impossible to transact sometimes. The transaction would be pending for minutes. So I think that, you know, the market has matured since then. And there's projects like Icon handling 3,000 TPS per second with a product that has already launched. And so I think we're getting close. I think we have the scalability in place now in order to sustain a large sums of capital being injected, right? The primary focus right now is definitely regulation, but I feel that once that's sorted out, we do have the technology and the capacity in place now to inject large volumes of capital, right? So
just to chime in here, I also heard some news, not sure if this has been verified, but the SEC or somebody had an ETF approved for crypto. Did you guys hear about that? Yeah, I'm not sure. I think that was just a proposal, or has it actually been accepted?
Yeah, I think it was a proposal.
Proposal? Yeah. But yeah, I think if that ever happens, bull market to the moon.
Yeah.
If ETFs get approved, that means all of Wall Street can, and even retail investors can invest via their 401k or whatever.
Yeah, so I just feel that regulation is gonna kick in slowly, stage by stage. I don't think it's gonna come all at once, right? And so the market's gonna kind of just go sideways for a bit. But once it's in place, I can definitely see how institutional money is gonna be injected, and the market's gonna be able to handle the capital injection based on the scalability that we do have in place now.
All right. Question in the back?
Hi, Ian. I'm Loren Enzo. I go to university in the UK, and I'm here for the week for your event. I was just wondering, I mean, it's amazing how you're bringing the event everywhere, all over the world. And I'm just personally asking us, someone from the Philippines, would you be open to coming to the Philippines and bringing your world tour there?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we were in Asia for 2 months. We did miss the Philippines, missed Manila. We did Thailand, we did Singapore, Indonesia, Korea, Japan. The next time around, we can definitely stop by the Philippines. Just if you know anybody there who can help with organizing an event and all that stuff.
Yeah, actually my partners in the Philippines, they just opened a blockchain space there in the Philippines, and it's pretty much booming. So there are a lot of banks that are getting into blockchain in the Philippines, and it would be amazing to have you there speak and teach everyone about pretty much what you're doing and how we can develop a community and what's the future going to be for the community.
All right, sounds good. I mean, I will come to the Philippines. I can guarantee that. Now,
Thank you. Yeah.
Now what we have to just figure out is the date.
I'll email you. I'll email you.
Yeah, because it would have to be after our Middle East and Africa tour.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
Probably maybe next time around when we're going back to Asia again. I'm pretty sure, because I do have more stops to do in Asia. Like, for example, we want to do more of China, like Shanghai. So maybe when we're coming there to Shanghai, and we can do Manila, Philippines. All right?
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Hey, Ian, how's it going? So thanks for coming down here. I have a question about something that's worrying me a bit. So both as a private investor, as like many of us, and also as a blockchain entrepreneur. So I'm in the business of marketing and product consulting at Queen Wesley. So what I've been thinking about in the late days and months is that you have big companies like Facebook, Google, Amazon, that first went on to bash what we had, like decentralization and cryptos and blockchain, and then went on to start building teams around that. So Facebook for sure is building like a crypto, exactly. I'm 100% sure, even though I haven't read it, that Google is doing the same, Amazon as well, and these guys, they have like firepower, right? The market cap right now is 320 bill. That's less than the lesser of those companies. So are you also worried about that? Is there, in your groups and like the high spheres, are you guys like, looking at,
Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft, of the types of the world taking over blockchain?
Yeah, and or are you like organizing yourselves as well, like pooling resources and just to make sure that, we don't get overtaken by all of this?
No, we're not scared or concerned. Innovation is always good. Having competition is always healthy. I would say it was kind of interesting to see how Facebook, via the ads platform, banned ICOs from posting or making ads. It was kind of a way that they weren't really endorsing ICOs or projects. And then they turn around and they get one of their best guys from Messenger product team to form a new blockchain division. But I think Facebook is smart, and I think that was a response. And I kind of sensed this was coming, because Facebook, Mark, their CEO, is really, he's a shark, as they say in Hollywood. He's a savage. Like he's got on Facebook where it is, because he's playing chess, not checkers, as they say. He's making the right moves almost all the time. And when I saw Telegram with Telegram is the competition with WhatsApp, and Facebook is losing users. Like, I don't use Facebook I got pissed off at Facebook, stopped using it. I don't touch it unless I have to. The only time I use Facebook is when I have to log into some sites maybe that force me to use Facebook. But when Mark saw them raise $2 billion, I know he was paying attention. And I knew he would have a response to that. So when I saw him from the blockchain division and get one of the best guys from Messenger, which is an app, hasn't really done that well, but in Facebook they love it, and it's in high esteem. So seeing them really get somebody serious, somebody who's an all-star on that division and team, knew that Facebook is really trying to go into blockchain. I think that's great that it become like that, because imagine if Facebook goes into blockchain and creates their own token. That just gives the entire space even more credibility. And that gives us a whole new wave of new people into crypto and blockchain. And imagine if those people get into ICOs or whatever. Right, so that really helps us go more towards mainstream, which is great, in my opinion. But I think the whole thing with ads was just more of them just trying to avoid the scammy ICOs. Because if you're a good ICO, you should not be having to run ads for your product. I mean, people will discover it. There's so many different people, there's so many different analysts or influencers. If you have a good product, they will discover it. If you have to pay money for an ad, then you aren't really doing your ICO the right way. It's basically a bad product, in my opinion. Maybe if you're using the ads for something else, maybe after the ICO, maybe you're trying to get users, maybe it's a marketplace, that I can understand. But if you're running ads for a token sale, I mean, that's how scams start. I mean, imagine if somebody has BitConnect and just does ads to it or whatever. So I think that's what they're trying to prevent.
Sure. All right, thanks. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Was there a question over this side of the room? On the right? No? Okay, who has the mic?
Hello, Ian. I wanted to know your position about P-Chain.
P-Chain?
Yes.
My thoughts on it?
Yeah, because I saw that you promoted a lot QuarkChain, but in P-Chain I see a strong team, a strong product, and I wanted to know what you think about it.
So at the time when they're having their ICO, I liked the team and all that, but the product wasn't there. They told me it was just a bunch of functions, it was early, there was no test net. That's why I passed on P-Chain at that time. But now I know that they've made progress on the product. I think they're launching a test net or something soon. Or
Yes,
it's
soon.
already launched. So I mean,
September, I think.
What?
In September, I think.
September? Okay, so still a few months.
And December it's the mainnet.
Okay, still, but I felt like they raised their money too early. At that time, it was a research project. It was experimental. That's kind of why I passed on it. They didn't really have anything tangible to demo at that time. But I mean, now that I have something, obviously my sentiments may change, but at this time I've still not invested or touched it. But I think, Diego, you touched P-Chain, right? You invested?
Yeah, I did, but I did more research, and the mainnet kind of drew me away. I think it was like primarily Q1 2019, and this was like 3 months ago. So I withdrew my Ether. Yeah, I withdrew my Ether.
Do you do P-Chain?
Yeah, like crowd sale. I mean, it's
Crowd sale.
$200.
All right, but that's my thoughts on P-Chain.
Okay, thank you.
All right, let's take a few more questions, then wrap up. We have a special surprise.
Hi, Ian. Thank you to come to Paris. Just one question, please. You thought about metronome?
Yes, my thoughts on it.
Yes, please.
Initially, I was bullish on metronome, but then I've had a new update to my spreadsheet and the way I was evaluating ICOs and projects, and on the current spreadsheet, I'm not bullish on it at any price point. So I don't plan, I think that they announced a date for their auction, but I don't plan to participate now. So now the main update I made in the new spreadsheet is favoring smart contract blockchains even more. So kind of going even more infrastructure. So to a point where almost all my investments now are purely infrastructure projects, like very few dApps or even currencies for that matter, unless there's something just spectacular about it.
And second question, please. The second, DAV network, please.
Which one?
DAV network.
DAV network? That's
Yeah.
the autonomous or IoT car thing, ICO?
Yeah.
That was a while ago. I passed on it at that time, and I don't plan to go back. The ICO is over, correct?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think I passed on it at that time. It was probably either the team or token metrics. One of them, either, I think both of them didn't add up, in my opinion.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right.
Hello, Jan. Thanks for being here in the most beautiful city in the world. I have a very basic question, and I'm sorry if it has already been asked before. I want to know if you have some piece of concrete and solid advice to give to a young crypto enthusiast who's just getting to the market. What are the things that he should he should be careful about? Should he go more into ICO? Should he try to trade? Should he hodl? What do you suggest if for
my
new?
advice to somebody who's new in crypto,
Yeah.
in terms of investing.
Yeah, pretty much.
I can't give specific advice to an individual, but if I would give advice to myself, personally, let's say I was brand new all over again and I had to start. Let's say I had 1,000 euros to invest. I would be strategic with what I invest in. As opposed to having a shotgun approach, I'll be tactical. I wouldn't do trading. Just from an ROI perspective, I feel like if you're tactical with what you invest in, and if 4 out of 5 investments are doing well, or on average, let's say if 5x, for example, you can make really good money, or even living, and do this full time. So what I would do is I would look at the data. I'll do token metrics basically. I'll look at the data of projects that do well. Let's say you're just very new. Now there are people out there doing research for you, whether it's me or other analysts like, oh hey, Maddie or whatever. For example, there have been sites like Top 7 ICOs, right? Where they go through and they gather numerous other analysts and show all their scores. Just over the course of, let's say 3 months, look at which ones most people have picked. That basically is telling you this consensus that this is a good project. So even if you're a newbie and don't know much, if these people who are respected amongst the tokenomics community all say this project is good, for example, like QuickChain, you know, okay, that's probably a pretty good project, so you can probably get in. Now, in terms of investing, also have your own research method and kind of create that and follow that as you watch other people in the field, other experts in the field. Just kind of see how you compare. Then maybe you start to see one person who's doing really, really well and is making really good investments. Maybe that he kind of fits more of your style. But if you had 1,000 euro, I would divide that up into maybe 200 euro each. So and put that into 5 projects and see how that. I would do that and see how what happens after that, or maybe just, or maybe just even doing your homework on projects, then sorting them on which ones you like the best, and maybe doing 5 in 1 to 2 months, and investing the most in the ones you have scored the most. For example, like investing maybe as opposed to doing 200 in each project, maybe you do 500 in the top project, number 1, then maybe 250 in number 2, and maybe even less in number 3 and 4 and 5. So that way, it's really leveraged to have your most capital at the project you believe in the most. So for example, if you put in 500 into a cork chain, and that does a 15x, that turns to over 5 grand. Right? That's like what? How much is a 15x in cork chain? 7,500. 7,500 or so. Of just one investment. But you've been very strategic with what you did. You didn't just invest blindly. You did your own research. You compared to what other experts in the industry have, and you saw, okay, there's a consensus amongst this project from other people who have done well in this space, and you joined the whitelist early because you were doing your homework. And then you got your capital, and you leveraged it by putting it on a project that had the highest score amongst you and other people. You had other people in this space. Does that make sense?
Totally. Thank you so much for the complete answer.
Thank you. Not financial advice, as I mentioned.
Of course. Of course.
All right, so we're wrapping up on time. You guys in the back, did you get your questions answered? You got it? Okay, can you give him the mic? Last one.
When are you going to give us the Balina token?
The Balina token. As I mentioned before, we filed the paperwork with the SEC. The token is already there, actually. It's just a matter of creating the spreadsheet app to use it, but making sure all the paperwork is filed in a legal manner to a point where we'll have no issues. But hopefully this year. But it won't be called the Balina token, it'll be called something else.
Okay, I'm going to be more specific. How can we make sure that you're going to drop us the Balina token? Because you said that you're not going to give it to everybody.
Yeah, not everybody. I mean, all I would say is just make sure you're part of my Telegram group. Just make sure you're active. And if you're a true believer in the community we're building, you'll get in. But if you're a doubter, you won't get in. That's all I can say. I mean, we're not trying to take everybody to the moon. Only those who believe. So we're not trying to have as many people get in. This will be kind of exclusive. But if you're in the community and you believe, you will get it. All right. Anyway, guys, thank you so much, Paris. Thank you for. So Cedric and Amin, are you guys still here? Cedric, Amin, you still here? Come over here, man. Crypto Hustler. Thank you. Merci beaucoup. Mon ami.
Thank you for everybody.
He's been teaching me some French.
Yeah.
Helping me.
We are just thanking you to come in Paris, to give us some time and some explanation of who you are and the team, and for everybody in the French community, because everybody in the French community wants to meet now. We think that there is some power now, there is some product, there is many people in the business now, so we want that all this power mixed now, so guys, you can share and share your contact, just enjoy the moment, the place, and to the moon, everybody.
To the moon, okay, yes. Thank you. Paris, only in Paris, look at this. I came here and they just gave me all these kinds of gifts, feeling like a king. King Louis XIV has some competition, I've been told. But anyway, amazing venue, fit for a king, pure royalty, creme de la creme. Amazing event, great ICOs pitches. The winner was pretty good. Gonna have to do my homework on them. Shout out to Crypto Hustle for hosting and sponsoring the event. Great team, really well done. They take this to the next level. Amazing people, amazing crypto family. Learned a lot. Made lots of entrepreneurs hustling hard, doing lots of amazing things. Gonna network with them, see how we can both offer value for each other. Keep on building that network, that crypto family network. And then getting ready for Africa. I mean, lots of Africans here in Paris, getting a chance to see them, what they're working on in crypto, where they're trying to go, and seeing the message we have to take to Africa. Africa, I told you we're coming. Crypto World Tour in Africa is going to be epic. We're going to make everybody in Africa kings and queens. Wakanda.
See the wallet, see a rock star. See the wallet, see a rock star. That's what I do. You see the wallet, see a rock star. I'm the first rock star landing on the moon. I was born, first words was 100x. I can make a bull run, you just run a desk. I'm talking 10 high and not a portion less. I'm talking I retire from the corporate checks. I want you to retire from the office stress. So you gotta get inspired by the token mess. We change the world of style, wanna come with us? One giant leap, this is just a small step. One giant leap, this is just a small step.